I'm going to get this right. The 7 minutes and the 7 p.m., it's very confusing. So, Brian, Mr. Cosgrove, are we ready with our signal?
We've already done the signal, Mayor. You're ready to roll whenever you're ready.
Call to order the meeting of the Wilsonville City Council, May 17th at 7 p.m. Would the city recorder please lead us in a roll call?
Councillor Linville?
Here.
Councillor West?
Here.
Council President Ockervall?
Here.
Councillor Lehan?
Here.
Mayor Fitzgerald?
Here. Would the city recorder please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the order of agenda?
Your Honor, I move to approve the order of agenda.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
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 Motion passes 5-0. Under Mayor's business now, I wanted to announce that we are having a special meeting of the City Council this coming Wednesday, May 26th, and it is regarding the Development Review Board Panel A recommendation to the City Council regarding the Canyon Creek 5-lot subdivision. The next regular meeting of the City Council is scheduled for Monday, June 7th at 7 p.m. Little overview of the activities of the council over the weekend. We held a 2-day retreat, which included some training and also goal setting for the next 2 years. I thought it was a really good event. I wanted to thank our city staff for all the work and research they did ahead of time for us. And the opportunity, with all of the council to get together and discuss hopes and aspirations that each of us had for the community. We have a little bit more time to spend on this to finalize the goals for the next 2 years, but I was thinking my summary, and others may have a different view, but to summarize what I took out of the 2 days, I wanted to say I really appreciate all the counselors for everybody was really engaged the whole time, and I think we all had a productive session together. And we'll have, as I said, more detail about the goals, but overall, I was thinking about the themes and messaging that I took out of it, and it was that our council really sees our city. They want a strong future for our city, a resilient and healthy city of Wilsonville. And I think throughout the goals that I'm thinking about, we really want to be known as a city that is clean, green, and safe. And that's reflected through all the goals. Some of the things that we looked at included our parks, our arts and culture and heritage plan. We wanted to do things to advance transportation mobility for all, and of course that includes the I-5 bottleneck at the Boone Bridge. We talked about developing strategies for critical infrastructure that we need in a number of areas to advance our community. That includes the town center plan and our industrial lands. And we also talked about the importance and some goals around affordable housing opportunities, and that would include hope for a plan for first-time home buyers to find that opportunity here in Wilsonville. And we also wanted to work on business recovery. So I wanted to thank everybody for their work there, and we will talk more about that at our June 7th meeting. Other big things that went on in the last 2 weeks, it was very busy. I'm going to thank Councillor Lehan again for being the councillor who participated in many hours. I think it could have been 12 or 15 hours easily on the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee interviews. We were lucky to have so many applicants, and And we read so many applications, we talked to a lot of people, and, really determining these appointments really was just it was a challenging process, and I just can't tell you how rewarding the whole process was to meet all the people. And of course, we only have 13 spots, so we can't seat all of them, but I think we'll look for more opportunities for them to be involved over time. And so it's just wonderful to see how many people are committed to making our community more inclusive. Along those lines, I wanted to, at this point, ask the council to look at the recommendations for that committee. And we have 3 motions that need to be made because of the way that the committee is structured. We're starting out with some 1-year appointments, some 2-year appointments, and some 3-year appointments. And that is so that we don't have everybody terming off at once. And I'll say that if somebody starts out with a 1-year appointment, that doesn't mean they have a short time on the committee necessarily, because the bylaws allow them to, the charter allows them to, serve additional terms. But this allows us to have a good committee that rotates through over the years. So I'm open to hearing a motion.
Your Honor, I move to appoint, hold on, can I ask a clarifying question before I do this motion?
Well, yes. I mean, we have the motions on the screen there.
Okay. So I want to just ahead of time, please forgive me if I don't pronounce the names correctly, or please help me if someone knows how to pronounce an individual's name. But I move to appoint for position 1 through,
Councilor
yeah.
West.
Yeah.
It says I move to ratify.
Oh, I don't see.
Do you have that in front
I see it here now. I'm sorry. I was just looking at the wrong line. Yeah,
okay,
I'm right here. Sorry. Thank you. So I move to ratify the appointment of Malak El Mahaman, Cameron Lau, Erica Pham, Luis Gomez, and Rudianne Riviera Lindstrom to the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee for the term beginning in 6/1/2021 to December 31st, 2022.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second, and for discussion, I would just say one last name is Luis Gonzalez.
Oh, thank you.
All in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Absolutely. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Do I have, would someone like to take care of the second motion? Councilor Linville?
Yes, I'd be happy to. Thank you. Your Honor, I move to ratify the appointment of Joni McNeil, Sudeep Taksali, Tracy Hester, and Faye, I think it's Guyapong Porter, to the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee for a term beginning 6/1/2021 to 12/31/2023.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second that, but I think it's Trey Hester, unless I'm
No, his name is Tracy.
It is Tracy? Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Well, then I second it.
Thank you. All in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
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 Motion passes 5-0. And Council President Ockervall, would you like to take the third one?
Sure, thank you. I move to ratify the appointment of Imran Haider, Eugenia Emel, Santiago Lanzarduri, and Jay Edwards to the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee for a term beginning June 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2024.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Councilor Lehan, all in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
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 Motion passes 5-0. Thank you, everyone. And just another couple of points I wanted to make on the mayor's business is, to report on some of the activities going on in the last couple of weeks. There's been a lot of activity in the legislature, and our, we've had our staff monitoring that, and I've also been aware of it quite a bit through the Metropolitan Mayors Consortium. I'm serving on the executive committee of that group and chairing the Transportation and Land Use Committee. We worked as a group on a set of principles regarding the issue of the legislature establishing tolling in the metro area interstate highways. And last week, I testified on behalf of the city and the Metropolitan Mayors Consortium on House Bill 3065, the -8 amendments, which is before the Joint Transportation Committee. Well, that bill names a number of major improvements throughout the region on the highway system, including the I-5 Boone Bridge and Seismic Improvement Project as a priority facility, as they call it, for the Oregon Department of Transportation to advance. And the I-5 Boone Bridge project is now listed along with the I-205 Abernathy Bridge and the I-5 I-84 Rose Quarter projects as top ODOT priorities. This action, coupled with the Oregon Transportation Commission's recent $3.7 million in funding for engineering of the I-5 Boone Bridge project, is a major win for our goals to clear up that bottleneck at the Boone Bridge. Now, this bill is also seeking to study tolling of the interstate highways in the Portland metro area to generate revenue to build new facilities and manage congestion. And there's a lot more that we can learn about this, and we have invited ODOT to come to our council. I think it won't be till July, but we'll be able to have a long discussion about this. And what these principles really bring up is that the issue of tolling raises a number of concerns that we think need to be addressed. And the city council had actually commented on this several months ago. But many Oregonians do believe that the current highway system has been paid for already. And so these area mayors have agreed that if tolling is implemented, then the revenues it generates must be used to pay for new highway facilities that replace and improve the traffic handling capacity and seismic resilience of outdated facilities on those highways, and to pay for mitigation efforts on local arterials that are impacted by tolled highway diversion traffic. And additionally, these principles stated that the legislature must increase public transit and alternative transportation options. The bill is scheduled for a work session next week. So as an example, many of the mayors brought up that there is not any kind of easy, convenient transit option for people to get east-west from, for example, Wilsonville or Tualatin to Oregon City, and there's not an alternative to driving a car. So that's why public transit was brought up. Other topics that were also discussed here at the council a long time ago and also continually is about the equity question. So that how will these costs be managed to address the kind of out of proportion impact that it could have on lower income communities, and what would be the solution there. So all those things are being addressed and discussed. And within that, if you read about it, you spend some time on the ODOT website, and also when they come to speak to us, there's a lot to be discussed about congestion pricing as well. So also working on another topic, working with Clackamas County, Westland, and others, and thanks to the work of our city staff and Councilor Joanne Linville, who has been really involved in the Willamette Falls Locks project, I submitted testimony in favor of forming the Willamette Locks Authority. This bill will create a public corporation to accept the transfer of the locks from the federal government. And so I've also testified in support of a state allocation of funds for repair of the locks. Councilor Linville, thank you for serving as a representative from the city of Wilsonville on the Willamette Falls Locks Commission that recommended this legislation. And in closing on that topic, I wanted to share that Congressman Kurt Schrader has recently requested a $6 million federal earmark for repair work at the law. You might hear more about that, I hope, from Councilor Linville. This week, we're going to have our budget committee. We're meeting with them on a busy week here to review the proposed fiscal year 2021 budget. I think just to wrap up, I won't list off all the meeting opportunities that I have unless somebody really wants to hear about all of them, but it was quite a bit. And we also had opportunities to interview applicants for, I think there are 4 current openings right now, including the library board and the tourism committee, and maybe one opening on a development review board. So with that, I would like to move to the last point on this part of the agenda, and that is a proclamation declaring the month of June 2021 as Pride Month. And I wanted to do that this month so that because we will be ready for the month of June to start. So I'm going to read this proclamation, and thank you very much for being a part of celebrating this in the month of June. Whereas June is celebrated as LGBTQIA+ Pride Month nationwide to commemorate the beginning of the Stonewall Uprising in New York. And whereas Wilsonville is a community that includes the values of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, questioning, queer, asexual, and allied residents. And whereas Wilsonville's LGBTQIA+ community is a diverse and essential part of our city who contribute to the widespread academic, economic, artistic, political, and social spheres within and around our community. Whereas Pride Month in Wilsonville is meant to raise awareness of the prejudice and discrimination still facing members of the LGBTQIA+ community and honor their power and perseverance in fighting discrimination in all its forms. And whereas everyone is entitled to equal rights freely granted to all Americans regardless of race, religion, gender identity, or sexual orientation, and whereas our city will stand up to hurtful speech and reinforce our efforts to attract a workforce that is representative of our community so that Wilsonville becomes a more vibrant, diverse, and livable community. And whereas the valuable contributions made by our family, friends, and neighbors who represent the diverse Wilsonville LGBTQIA+ community promote innovation and positive change with lasting effects within our city. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Julie Fitzgerald, Mayor of the City of Wilsonville, Oregon, do hereby proclaim June as Pride Month in Wilsonville, Oregon, and urge all residents to respect and honor our diverse community and celebrate and build a culture of inclusiveness and acceptance. Dated this 17th day of May, 2021. Thank you. Now, our next topic, our head of our Public Works Department, Delora Kerber, is going to preview National Public Works Week.
Thank you, Mayor and Council members. Delora Kerber, Public Works Director. So this year's Public Works Week theme is Stronger Together. The week is April 16th through the 22nd. And I think it's a very appropriate theme considering all that we've been through in the last, 12 to 24 months, including COVID, wildfires, ice storms. So this is an opportunity in which to recognize the men, women, and others who are involved with Public Works Week, or Public Works, and celebrate them for this week. And I have a short little video I'd like to share with you, kind of just sharing a sample of the various types of work that our staff does here at the city.
Thank you, Ms. Kerber. I mean, it just showed the magnitude of the work that your department does. Do you have anything else to add to that before I read the resolution?
No, not at this time.
All right, thank you very much. So with that, I'd like to read the proclamation for the National Public Works Week 2021. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and service that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities, and to the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of the city of Wilsonville. And whereas these infrastructure, facilities, and services are provided through the dedicated efforts of public works professionals who are utility workers, technicians, engineers, inspectors, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector. These individuals and teams are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our city's transportation system, water supply, wastewater treatment and stormwater system, public buildings, natural resources, and other structures and facilities essential to our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in the city of Wilsonville to gain knowledge of and to maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and the public works programs in our community. And whereas the year 2021 marks the 61st annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association. And whereas this year's theme is Stronger Together. Now, therefore, I, Julie Fitzgerald, Mayor of the City of Wilsonville in the state of Oregon, hereby designate the week of May 16th to 22nd, 2021 to be Public Works Week in Wilsonville, and encourage Wilsonville citizens to pay tribute to our public works professionals and recognize the substantial contributions they make to protecting our city's health, safety, and quality of life. I will sign this on the 17th day of May, 2021.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Cosgrove, are you going to help with this next part?
Yes, Mayor, if you don't mind. I have a little statement I'd like to read. And this is under communications, and it's an announcement announcing that the American Public Works Association has selected our very own Public Works Director, Ms. Delora Kerber, as one of 10 individuals from across the United States for its prestigious Top 10 Public Works Leaders of the Year Award. In its 62nd year, this award is one of the APWA's highest honors and is based on a lifetime of professional contributions. Ms. Kerber has previously been recognized by the Oregon chapter of the APWA with the William A. Bowles Award, which is the highest honor bestowed by the Oregon chapter of APWA. She was also instrumental in the city receiving the 2014 National Design Build Project for the Wastewater Treatment Plant Improvements Project. Ms. Kerber's professional career spans 38 years and includes both private and public sector experience. If the past year and a half has taught us anything, it has taught us the importance of having highly trained and dedicated professionals to respond to emergencies, both large and small. In the past several months, our Public Works Department has been instrumental in responding to a pandemic, wildfires, and a crippling ice storm. The city has benefited greatly from Ms. Kerber's leadership during these past several months, and I commend Delora for her many contributions to her profession and to Wilsonville. Thank you, Mayor. And Mayor, I have a plaque that I'm going to try to hold up and show you, but I'm going to read it first. It says Top 10 APWA Public Works Leader of the Year for noteworthy achievement in the field of public works and adherence to the highest standards of professional conduct. Delora Kerber, PE, has been selected as one of the top 10 Public Works Leaders of the Year, awarded by the American Public Works Association, May 2021. Let me see if I can make this work here.
That's good.
Wow, that is wonderful.
Fantastic. So please join
Thank
me
you.
in congratulating Ms. Kerber for a great award.
Well, congratulations, Delora. That is really wonderful.
Thank you.
So
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. I was going to say,
Go ahead.
it's a great honor to receive this award, a highlight of my career. But the one thing is I couldn't have done it without all the support that I've gotten, you know, throughout here within the city and all the fantastic staff I have.
Well, thank you. You deserve a long period of no storms. All right. Thank you very much, Delora. Congratulations. So we'll now move to our citizen input and community announcement section of the meeting. And this is an opportunity for visitors to address the City Council on items not on the agenda. It is also a time to address items that are on the agenda but are not scheduled for a public hearing. Staff and the City Council will make every effort to respond to questions raised during citizens' input before tonight's meeting ends or as quickly as possible thereafter. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. And I would add to that if, you know, we sometimes have citizens who are coming to us with questions or they're looking for more information, and that's really the kind of a thing that the staff does try to find for them during the meeting, and sometimes it takes longer. So, with that, do we have anyone to present?
Yes, Mayor, we have Susan Hansen.
All right.
Hello, everyone. My name is Susan Hansen. I want to greet Mayor Fitzgerald, President Ackerval, and all of you councilors. Again, my name is Susan Hansen, and I'm a Wilsonville resident. And I want to thank you for the opportunity tonight to speak with you about National Gun Violence Awareness Day on June 4th. My friend Mary Pat is also going to be talking with you tonight about that. And we are both members of Moms Demand Action for Gun Safety's local Wilsonville and Tualatin chapter, and we're part of the statewide chapter. And we're wearing orange today because this is in support of this annual event, which honors the lives of people affected by gun violence and elevates the voices of those who are demanding an end to gun violence. And we wear orange in particular because it's the color that hunters wear to announce their presence to other hunters when they're in the woods. And so orange really is a color that symbolizes the value of human life. And I personally grew up in a household with lots of guns used for sport. My father taught me to shoot both rifles and pistols, but to him, safety was really the most important thing. He was always saying, never point guns at people. And I hear that in my head years later. In keeping with the gun safety focus that I grew up with, I'm horrified to learn that 520 people in Oregon die each year as a result of gun violence. And of that number, 522, 424 of those people are gun suicide victims. And I'm especially concerned about the number of gun suicides because they're often a result of easy access to firearms in a household. So we're advocating for more common sense gun laws and actions to support gun safety measures. And that's why I'm a supporter of Moms Demand Action for gun safety. We encourage everyone to wear orange on June 4th to show their support of National Gun Violence Awareness Day. And my friend Mary Pat will be sharing a few more details with you. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak with you tonight on this topic.
Thank you. And I did notice, Mary Pat may want to turn on the video because we didn't see you.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
So Mayor, I just allowed them to speak, so you'll just verbally hear them, if that's okay. Okay. Up next, Mary Pat Hansel.
Hello, Mayor Fitzgerald, President Ackerval, and City Councilors. My name is Mary Pat Hensel. I use she, her pronouns. This is my first online council meeting, and I am grateful to have this opportunity for public awareness building. I am here as a Wilsonville resident who wants to ensure our community knows about National Gun Violence Awareness Day and to spread the word about Wear Orange, to visually show support and uphold those who have lost their lives or suffered trauma from the ripple effect of firearm violence. In an average year, as my friend Susan already said, 522 people die by guns in Oregon. This year, National Gun Violence Awareness Day is June 4th. It's coming right up. On this day, residents across our land have an opportunity to reflect and recognize the issues that surround gun violence as an intergenerational public health crisis. As a firearms owner, I am a listener, a watcher, and rigorously engaged as an event organizer and advocate for supporting responsible gun use, working with survivors, and bringing communities like Wilsonville together in an effort to help others. In Oregon, there is an average of 21 hours between gun suicide deaths. As the sister of a sibling lost to firearm suicide, I am and always will be personally impacted. I wear orange for Mark John. My family continues to heal. It's not easy, even as time passes. Wear Orange events pivoted online last year. At that time, we hardly knew how to raise a hand or to chat. Oregon Moms Demand Action will host a statewide Wear Orange event this year with survivor speakers, poets, and musicians, and online participants. Participants of all demographic ages and types will attend and will be wearing orange. Attendees will be encouraged to take action in any way that feels right at the time and in their space and place. Tonight, I invite you to join me in Wear Orange. I invite each of you to take some form of individual action this year, something as simple as pausing at some time during your June 4th workday, and perhaps each day of the Wear Orange weekend, June 5th and 6th. I invite Wilsonville residents and all of City Hall to engage in dialogue and future conversations. We are in this crisis together. You may find more information at wearorange.org. Later this summer, local residents from Wilsonville and other South Portland metro areas will begin to meet in person again. Join us then as Moms Demand Action volunteers learn and share more information about family programs such as Be Smart and One Thing You Can Do, which is part of the Extreme Risk Protection Program. We have many other actions, from social media postings to speaking engagements in local schools, nonprofits, and civic organizations. Upcoming events for Moms Demand Action may be found at Moms Demand Action, all one word, .org, /events.
Thank you, Mary Pat and Susan. We appreciate you sharing this message. Thank you for that, and that will bring us to our counselor comments, liaison reports, and meeting announcements. And I'm going to start with Council President Ackerval, and I'm not sure if she was going to share this one point, but I'm going to remind her of it to ask her to please share something that relates to our Public Works Department, because I remember listening to Delora Kerber years ago giving a presentation about something that all citizens could do to keep us from spending extra taxpayer dollars on our sewer system. And there is a very good public speaker in our community who happens to be the daughter of Council President Ackerval. So I hope you'll share the action she took in support of our award-winning Public Works Department chair.
Sure, thank you, Mayor Fitzgerald. Yes, I guess I get to have both a proud mom moment and a enthusiastic local government person as well. In that my daughter was able to give some testimony recently about a House bill that's being considered in our state legislature that has to do with the labeling of wipes products. So that clarification on the proper disposal will be very easy for consumers to find and to make sure that we keep those wipes that are not intended to be flushed out of our wastewater systems. And that's a topic that we're quite enthusiastic about in our home, actually. So it was great for her to be able to have the opportunity to participate in that way, and certainly a message that I'm sure our public works and many public works departments across the state are interested in making sure that all communities have access to. I think also I can mention this, let's see, 2 weeks ago, I suppose, I attended the LOC Spring Symposium. It was specifically about emergency preparedness, which also kind of fits in with our Public Works Department, as they have done so much work in that area this last year. All of our city departments have, but certainly it has touched Public Works greatly. And that was an excellent kind of all-day workshop, and I felt that I was able to get a lot of information specifically about what elected leaders can do to support emergency preparedness and these efforts in our communities. And I hope that our City of Wilsonville community will be joining with me and making sure that we all as individuals are able to do increased effort, as we've gotten kind of a trial run, or not even really trial run, because these have been real emergencies this last year, but we've gotten practice, I guess we could say. Let's see, today I was able to attend the Westside Economic Alliance meeting, and Senator Jeff Merkley was able to speak to regional leaders in that meeting, and that was a nice opportunity to hear from him and some of his views that he has about issues that are specifically affecting our area. I also attended the Washington County coordinating meeting to listen in on that meeting today as well. And as Mayor Fitzgerald mentioned, our council retreat this last weekend, I wanted just to echo my thanks to the rest of council and to staff for dedicating that time and really talking through what our vision is for this city. And one of the activities that we did during that retreat was kind of a brainstorming activity that required us to reflect back as if it was 5 years in the future and list out things that we hoped to have had happen in our community, in our city. And it was an inspirational activity that we all participated in during the meeting, but also in kind of reflecting and thinking about some of the grand ideas that we all proposed. How grateful I am that we already have a strong footing in so many areas that we are able to dream such grand dreams. And that's because of the hard work from our staff members and also from our counselors and our mayor and the work that has been put in. So I want to very much express my appreciation to all of you. And then, let's see, I think I just also wanted to make a comment that May is Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. And of course, that's a specific opportunity to acknowledge many of our community members that help make our city great, but also celebrate the achievements and contributions of Asian Americans, Pacific Islander Americans, and also a chance for us to learn, I think, both some of the bright moments and some of the painful events that are in our history, including some of the most recent events in the last few months. And I think that the more we are all aware and the deeper that we all understand, the more vibrant and prosperous and secure of a future that we will be able to have. So I have found some resources on the Asian Pacific American Network of Oregon. That's apano.org, their website, and there are a number of workshops and items that you can read and listen to and watch. So that may be something that our community members are also interested in checking out. And I think that's it for me for this week. Thank you.
Thank you, Council President Ackerval. And now we'll move to Councilor Lehan.
Yes, I will bring up what I usually do about this time of year, and that is that we are coming up on Memorial Day weekend at the end of the month. We're very late this month. It's Memorial Day is May 31st. Memorial Day weekend precedes that. Of course, the 31st is a Monday. And for our local cemeteries, as well as the Korean Memorial, this is a time when there will be many functions going on to honor our veterans. My cemetery, Pleasant View, has 180 veterans from various conflicts and not conflicts throughout the history of the nation. And besides honoring our veterans, Memorial Day has become a time to honor those who have passed. So people hardly ever go to the cemetery and just put just decorate flowers on their veteran. They all, which is usually grandpa. They also put them on grandma flowers, and so people generally come and decorate. If you have not been to some of our cemeteries, whether that's Pleasant View or Meridian, those are our two closest ones. Memorial Day weekend is a wonderful time to just drive by or walk through, because they will never look more beautiful than they do Memorial Day weekend. They'll be decorated with flags and flowers, and if you're not familiar with our area cemeteries, this is an opportunity to get out and see one. Bring some flowers and put them on somebody you don't know, because lots of people are there without anyone to come and decorate them. So there's always someone that you can leave a flower for. So that's my piece for this month.
Thank you, Councilor Lehan. I'm gonna do that. That's a great walk up to that cemetery. It's got a good hill to climb.
Yeah. About 2 miles west of Villebois, straight out Tucson Westfall, and there it is.
Thank you. Councilor West.
Thank you, Mayor Fitzgerald. It's been a busy May for us, and it's not over yet. I know all of us have been diving in head first here and working hard and engaging in all kinds of things. About a week ago, Mayor Fitzgerald and I had a listening session with the Wilsonville Chamber of Commerce and various small businesses in our community. It was enlightening, educational, and sobering. And I think I can speak for the mayor and say that we both came away with a lot of perspective and education and knowledge about kind of the pain points and what the rough road has been like over the last year for our small business community and certain specific sectors within the economy. Just a couple things that are like highlights. We learned or got confirmation from our community that it's been difficult hiring staff or retaining staff, even though unemployment remains persistently high in Clackamas County for a number of various reasons. And, you know, we can speculate to what those are, but that still remains an issue that they keep the doors open and to do the work that's necessary. They can't have a hard time just getting people to interview. And we learned that some of the multiple mandates, lockdowns, really caused hardships, and they kind of expressed why that was and went into details. And then they really talked about their kind of personal sacrifices and their goals moving forward. And I won't get into those stories, but it was just very sobering and chilling it to a certain point. So we all know as a council and probably as a community that our small businesses really need our support now more than ever. And I am really appreciative, and it seems like our council is motivated to do what we can to advocate for those and partner with those businesses to help them get their footing again and remain vibrant. So that was a really important meeting, sobering meeting. I'm glad I got to be a part of it. And then we did do our council retreat. I'm sure we all had our own little perspective. And I'll echo everything that was already said by the other members here and the mayor. I thought it was a really productive because of the way we were able to set the vision. And our goal setting will kind of chart the path and the priorities of the city over the next 2 years. I found it incredibly collaborative and smooth in many ways. And it was kind of, you know, working different and various issues out in a really practical way. And I think that we're going to be in a good spot over the next 2 years, and even beyond that. I think the future does look bright for Wilsonville. We have a lot to be encouraged. It was an honor to do that with everybody in the council, and I really appreciate their perspectives and the hard work that everybody put into this. And it was kind of fun getting in there and sharing ideas and working them out. So that work was a pleasure to do with all of you here on the council. We all have the budget meeting coming up next week too, so we have a couple days and evenings with that, some work to put in for the budget committee, so we look forward to that. And then don't forget, I thought Councilor Leahan was going to steal my thunder on this one because she's always on top of it, but it's Bulky Waste Day again. And that happens Saturday, May 22nd. Is that right? From 9 to 1:30 at Republic Services. So this is a great opportunity to get rid of those old mattresses or the stuff that you just can't put in your bins. I think they have some help there too if you need unloading from your vehicle, if it's just like a really tough situation to get something kind of funky size and large and heavy out of your vehicle. I think it's always been a really popular thing. I know I think our family's totally done it and used it. So take advantage of that. And then I guess I look forward to reporting how everything this busy next couple of weeks is moving forward at our next council meeting, I think on June 7th. So yeah, I'm enjoying the weather, and it's nice to start to kind of have some hope and get out there and opportunities to not wear our masks and engage one another again and get back to normalcy seems to be a little hope around the corner. So I'm enjoying that also.
great. I'm really glad you brought up Bulky Waste Day. It's May 22nd is coming right up. So with that, I'd like to ask Councillor Linville for her comments.
Pardon?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm having a little internet problem. I'm not sure what's going on my end, so I hope I stay with you. But my internet is down, and so I'm going on my cell data. On the 6th of May, I attended the C4 meeting, and at that meeting, there were reports done by each of the communities in the metro area that are members of C4, and Mark Otnott gave the report for Wilsonville, and he did a nice job of summarizing some of the accomplishments that Wilsonville has enjoyed during the last year. On the 11th of May, I attended the Community Enhancement Committee meeting, and at that meeting, we approved an additional opportunity for projects to be submitted that related to cleanup and issues that have been out there from the ice storm particularly. And these would be projects that would include stump grinding, cleanup in our SRO-Z zones, and tree planting, particularly for street trees. I'm having a hard time with my language right now. On the 19th, I will attend the C4 Metro Subcommittee meeting, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of substantive issues for us in Wilsonville on that particular meeting, but I will attend. And I wanted to just, I think Councilor West reminded the citizens that we have our budget committee meetings on May 20th and 25th, and I would encourage citizens to take a look at those meetings and see what we're spending our money on in the city of Wilsonville. As best we try to be good stewards of the citizens' resources. The mayor mentioned the Willamette Falls Locks Commission. The bill passed, I believe it was 53-4 or 53-3 out of the House, approved to move to the Senate, and I believe on the 14th it was heard, that was yesterday, heard by the joint Ways and Means Committee in the Senate. And so we're just waiting to hear that. It looks really, really good that the Willamette Falls Locks Authority will be approved, and that with Congressman Schrader's help, that we will have some federal monies to do the final work on the last few locks before the Corps of Engineers moves that to a public authority for governance. And I did want to mention, too, that the League of Oregon Cities has the Equity and Inclusion Committee approved the bylaws of a new caucus, women's caucus, within LOC, and that will now go to the Executive Committee and the board for approval. But it's pretty exciting that this will be an open caucus for not only elected women in the cities in the state of Oregon, but will also be for women that are serving on boards and commissions for cities. So it's very exciting. I think a lot of opportunity for sharing information and certainly being colleagues. I think that's probably all of my report, Mayor, unless you have something else that you wanted me to speak to.
I think that's it. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And now we're moving to the consent agenda, and I'd like to ask the city attorney to read the consent agenda by title, please.
Resolution number 2895, a resolution of the City of Wilsonville authorizing the city manager to execute a construction contract with Eagle Elsner, Inc. for construction of the 2021 street maintenance project. Resolution number 2896, a resolution of the City of Wilsonville authorizing the city manager to execute a memorandum of understanding with the Willamette Falls and Landing Heritage Area Coalition. Resolution number 2897, a resolution of the Wilsonville City Council adopting an intergovernmental agreement between Metro and the City of Wilsonville to continue the Wilsonville Metro Community Enhancement Program. Resolution number 2898, a resolution of the City of Wilsonville adopting the fiscal year 2021-2022 5-year action plan and annual 1-year implementation plan for the Wilsonville Tourism Development Strategy. And finally, resolution number 2899, a resolution and order amending resolution number 2882 to further extend the local state of emergency and emergency measures as authorized by resolution 2803. And the minutes of the May 3, 2021 City Council meeting.
Thank you, Ms. Jacobson. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as read?
Your Honor, I move to approve the consent agenda as read.
Second?
I'll second that, Your Honor.
The motion has been moved and seconded. All in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
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 Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. That will bring us to city manager's business. And just before you start, I just want to make a note that there is a list in the packet of the upcoming meetings. I just wanted to restate the next city council meeting is actually on May 26th. We heard a different date earlier. Okay, thank you, Mr. Cosgrove.
Thank you, Mayor. So this has been a brutal month for you all with public meetings. We'll have had 3 council meetings, 2 budget committee meetings, and a weekend retreat. That's the bad news. The good news is it's looking like the first meeting in July has nothing on it. So according to the protocols, and because that meeting would normally fall on the first Monday, which is July 5th, since that's considered a holiday, we would meet on July 8th. If you would prefer, we can cancel that meeting tonight. We just need a motion and a second to do so. It doesn't look like we're gonna have enough business items for 2 meetings anyway. So if you all would like a vacation from meetings, it looks like the first meeting in July is available if you'd like to have that vote right now.
Do I have a motion?
Your Honor.
I heard.
We all are jumping.
I'll do it.
Recognize Councilor Lee.
Your Honor, I move to cancel the first council meeting in July on the 5th because we don't have a large enough agenda to go forward.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion has been moved and seconded. All in favor, raise your right hand and say aye.
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 Motion passes 5-0.
Terrific. Congratulations. The next thing I wanted to just bring to your attention is that we're getting a lot of questions from other board and commission members, staff, about issues relating to masking and social distancing. I had a meeting today with our HR department, and there's no clear guidance on that issue yet. The OSHA is responsible for the enforcement side of this, so we are required by law to follow those mandates. It is my understanding that OHA and the governor is going to be making some announcements on that issue. I don't know what those final rules are going to be, and I'm as anxious as everyone else to get back to normal as soon as we possibly can. The complicating factor in this is the folks that have not been vaccinated, either by choice or because they're just not in the queue yet or for whatever reason. So I just want everyone to just be patient as we go through this process. I'm doing everything I can to kind of clarify that, and obviously everybody's hooked into LOC, so we all have the same questions and the same anxieties and issues. So as soon as I get information, I will pump that out, and we're going to try and get people back into council meetings as quick as possible, but I can't control what OSHA does. They're about 5 months behind on updating their rules anyway, so, and they're aware of that situation at the governor's office too. So I'll pause and see if you have any questions.
Yeah. Can I ask, are the budget committee meetings still Zoom?
The budget committee meetings, unless there's some rapid deployment of bureaucracy between now and Wednesday, I don't see how we can come back unless everybody's willing to wear their mask the whole time. I think that would be the one way that we could pull that off, but I don't know how we would do the social distancing part. So I think just out of caution, we're probably going to have to Zoom this year's budget committee meetings. I might know a little more tomorrow, but I would just plan on Zooming into the budget committee meeting.
I just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you. And I also want to clarify that the budget committee meetings are on May 19 and 20. So we will have one on Wednesday and Thursday of this week, and on the 25th if necessary. Although in my 10 years here, we've always gotten through the budget in 2 meetings. So hopefully that's the case.
And to recap those dates, we do have it written in the packet.
Yes.
Because we all rattled off a lot of dates during this meeting. Okay, so.
And the last thing, Mayor, I don't want to forget, I was informed today, on top of learning this weekend that we had lost one former Public Works employee and one current. I also understand that we lost a member of our sister city, Kitakata committee, who you all know is Kathy Rice. So we're probably going to circulate some cards staff-wise, and I'd be happy to figure out a way to have Mayor and anybody else on council who would like to sign that card. Just reach out to me via email, and we'll figure out a way to get that card to you.
I appreciate you bringing that up, and we're very sorry for these losses.
That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. We could now ask the city attorney if there's any legal business.
I wish I could think of something better to end with, but I don't have any legal business, so have a good evening. You're getting out of here early.
Did Councilor West, were you raising your hand? No, okay.
I was itching.
Okay, sorry. Okay, with that, I will.
I think Joanne is raising her hand.
Your Honor, I just wanted to, I neglected during my report to just mention, I wanted to let our community know that I am working on, with our city communications staff, with Bill Evans, to try and get information out about immunizations that are available. And I just wanted to tell our community that there are lots of appointments available online through Costco. Fred Meyer is the best day to get appointments online with Fred Meyer is on Sunday or Monday. They're full if you wait any longer than that. And on at Walgreens, you just need to download their app and make yourself an account. And there are plenty of appointments available there. So please call those pharmacies if you're experiencing difficulty getting an appointment and you want to be immunized. There are a lot of availabilities, even with those 12 and up new citizens that have become eligible. So shouldn't be reasons that people are still having difficulty.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Linville. And this information you've shared is on our city website. If there's anything new, we can ask our communications staff to add that tomorrow. So thank you, everyone. With that, we will adjourn this meeting of the City Council at 8:05 p.m.